Hello and good morning, everybody. Here with Martin Panev, Chief Account Executive and Trading Analyst, GDMFX. Welcome to today's European Session Market Outlook. Starting with U.S. markets, as usual, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which has kept the uptrend and added a few more points to another record high near 17,550 points level. The situation with the high-tech NASDAQ is looking quite positive as well, despite of the 20 points decline in the last session, still holding ground above the 4,200 points level. Data in the US today will show the manufacturing in New York State picked up in November, based on our research. Nationwide growth in industrial production slowed to 0.2% in October from 1% in September, based on responses from economists. Foreign portfolio investment in Canada securities and Canadian portfolio investment in foreign securities scheduled for today, as well as Fed Evans' speech, 3 and 6 month bill auction. The Fed plans to issue the minutes of its latest meeting on November 19. Moving along to European markets, the German DAX 30 and the French CAC40 added a few more points in decline, but we are expecting to see an uptrend correction today. We're also waiting for Mr. Dragi's speech today and the trade balance outlook for the European zone. Moving along to the UK, the FTSE 100 rose 0.2% or 12.17 points to 6,647, and its fourth weekly gain correlating to the fourth week decline in the price of the pound. 10-year gilt yields dropped 0.09% and also have returned 9.8% this year. The pound closed the week with 14 low against the dollar and a 200 against the euro, after the Bank of England dovish report prompted investors to push back their expectations for the interest hike to October next year. Data is showing that the optimism for British economic recovery may have been too much and that the pound is overvalued. The pound touched 1.5667 per dollar on Thursday and dropped below 1.56 on Friday, realizing a fourth consecutive weekly drop, longest since August. The recent price drop trimmed the pound's yearly earnings to 4.4%, and it still remains the second best performer. Data from this week may add to the negative trend as well. Quite a few events with high importance for the pound tomorrow and on Wednesday, starting with the core CPI outlook and the central bank's meeting minutes on Wednesday, retail sales on Thursday, and the net borrowing report in the end of the week. Moving along to Asian markets. Basically, the stocks in Europe and Asia fell, with US equity index futures, while the yen rose after the world's third largest economy unexpectedly entered a recession. Chinese shares slid, gained as a trading link between Hong Kong and Shanghai began, and oil and gold resumed declines as well. The yen gained 0.2% as Japan's GDP shrank 1.6% last quarter from a year before, missing projections for a 2.2% gain. Shanghai shares dropped even as investors filed a quota for daily equity buying via Hong Kong. The yen touched the weakest level since 2007 early today, amid the speculation of the GDP miss, will also prompt Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to postpone a planned sales tax increase. Moving along to the commodities. Starting with the oil, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain agreed to send their ambassadors back to Qatar, resolving an unprecedented diplomatic spat in the history of the oil-rich Gulf Cooperation Council. West Texas Intermediate resumed its decline after the biggest gain in almost 2 months, as investors awaited the likelihood that the OPEC will cut output when the group meets this month. Brent fell in London as well. All futures bounced off a 4-year low on Friday to settle more than 2% higher amid speculation that the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries will cut production to support the oil market when it meets later this month. The WTI 73.39 per barrel, now at 75.14, up by $1.75. Moving along to golds, basically gold and silver surged to 2-week heights on Friday as investors close out bets on lower prices, a move known as a short covering. Gold, 1,150.5 now, and the move was about $38. That was pretty much for me from today. Thank you very much for your attention. Cheers. Bye-bye.